Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here bringing you your week ahead reading. I don't know what to call it anymore now that I've changed it up a little bit. So this week we're going to stick with working with the different zodiac elements being fire, water, air and earth. And this week I am using the Wild Unknown. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot, and this card over here is the Wild Unknown Archetypes. And then I'm also going to add in a card from the Daily Healing Oracle as well. So a different spread, a different layout to what we did last week, and I'm hoping that this one might work well for me. And if it does, then it might be what I stick with for a couple of weeks, but we'll have to see what I do next week, Monday, because you know me, I like to change things up. So basically what I've got over here is I've got 8 cards drawn and laid out, and the top row is the row that I'm going to do publicly, and the bottom row will be what I do for the extended reading. And basically what we're looking at is we're looking at 4 areas of your life for the week ahead. So we're looking at your mind, we're looking at your body, we're looking at your emotions, and we're also looking at your desires. So mind, body, emotions, and desires for the week ahead, because I think that really is going to sort of help you figure out what you need to be working on, what's important, what to be mindful of, and all of that kind of thing going forward. And the archetypes card is going to give you your sort of overall energy, overall theme for the week ahead, because an archetype is, it's almost a description of who or what you are, what is significant, what is relevant for you for the week ahead. So the archetypes are certainly going to be quite interesting. And then the daily healing cards, it says on the box here, it says cards for awakening your best self. And of course, I'm all about helping you be the best version of yourself that you can be. And that's why I do these readings. So for the public video, for the one that you are watching right now, you will have access to these 4 cards, and the rest of it is going to be held and kept for those on the extended program. So please do consider joining. On YouTube, click the membership button, click the join button, I should say, to join the memberships. And if you join on the motivated tier, you get access to the extended readings each week, plus a whole lot of other awesome goodies. Right, so friends, we're going to get started with the fire signs. Fire signs being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and then we're going to work through all the others. And I do hope that you have an awesome week, and we'll see you at your element. Hello and welcome to my fire signs. Welcome to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We are doing your look at the week ahead, and I have got us an interesting spread again, and I'm quite excited about the spread, to be completely honest. We are looking at 4 different areas of your life. We're looking at your mind, your body, your emotions, and your desires. And for the public viewing, we're going to look at the top row, and the rest of it is going to be held for the extended portion of the reading. So let's get straight into it. So the first question we have, this has got to do with your mind, because we all know that the mind controls everything. Everything starts at the mind and then goes from there. So the question we're asking over here, and by the way, I never mentioned, but this is the Wild Unknown Tarot, the Wild Unknown Archetype, and over here's the Daily Healing cards. Sorry, I need to mention that all the time. So the first card we have here is with regards to your mind. So what does your mind need to stay centered this week? For all my fire signs, what does your mind need to stay centered? And then we have the Hanged Man. I love the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is one of my favorite cards, and I know I say that about all of them, but I really do appreciate and enjoy the interpretation and the meaning of the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is the card that says to get a new perspective, get a new perspective on your situation. Remember now, the question here is, what does your mind need to stay centered? Well, in order for your mind to stay centered this week, for the week ahead, don't take things at face value. Dig a little bit deeper, look at it from a different perspective, look at it from a different angle. Whatever it is that's worrying you, whatever it is that's causing anxiety, whatever it is that's sitting in your mind this week, for all my fire signs, just make sure that you look at things from a slightly different perspective and a slightly different angle, and you may be pleasantly surprised as to what happens. You may be pleasantly surprised as to what you uncover. So what does your mind need to stay centered this week? You need to look at whatever's going on in your head, whatever's going on in your mind, look at it from a different angle. Let's have a look and see, what does your body need to stay grounded? So what does your physical body need to stay grounded this week? Oh, we got another major arcana card. Absolutely awesome. So we've got the Star card. I love, you know, one of the things that I enjoy about this deck is the artwork, number one. And it's typically black and white, but you get these little splashes of color. And I really think it's truly, truly amazing because it makes that element or that aspect of the card stand out, just like our little bat's eyes over there. So the Star card, the Star card is the card of hope. The Star card is the card of, you know, having your wishes fulfilled and your dreams materialized. So what does your body need to stay grounded? Well, you must not give up hope on your body. Okay. You know what happens is as we go through life, and especially for us fire signs, you know, we tend to burn hot quite quickly. We tend to get from 0 to 100 almost instantly. And when we don't achieve immediate success, when we don't achieve happiness and joy and outcomes that we want for ourselves, we can give up a little bit early. We can pack it in a little bit too soon. And basically, what your body needs to stay grounded is for you to keep on at it, keep persisting. Don't give up too quickly. Don't give up too soon. The Star card is telling you to have hope. It's telling you to keep thinking about the long-term effects, the long-term goals, and the long-term projects. And it's really saying to you, don't give up hope too quickly. Don't give up hope too soon, because your body needs you. It needs you to stay committed for the long haul. It doesn't want you to give up too quickly. All right. Fire signs, let's have a look and see, what do your emotions need in order to feel heard? So your emotions for the week ahead, what do your emotions need to feel heard? And here we have the Knight of Wands. And look at that snake. I love the energy that's sort of coming off this wand or the stick that he's climbing up, that he's crawling up. First of all, I am not a snake fan. I don't like snakes, but I like him because he's quick to react, he's quick to respond, he's quick to scare or to bite or to protect himself even. Okay. And this energy that we have radiating around him or radiating above him out like that shows that he has this potential within him. He is potential. If I had to describe him in a word, he is potential. He is potential for chaos. He is potential for healing. He is potential for so many things. What I like about our Son of Wands is that he doesn't spend too much time pondering and thinking. And again, for us fire signs, we don't spend too much time pondering and thinking, do we? We sort of tend to just jump in at the deep end and hope that everything works out okay. So what do your emotions need this week in order for you to feel heard? The Knight of Wands or the Son of Wands is saying to you to respond, to speak, to react, to process quickly. Okay, so if you are having an emotional moment, whether it be a positive or a negative emotion, okay, let's not focus just on the one. Whatever your emotion is that comes up for you this week, for all my fire signs, just let it out. Okay, see how his tongue is sticking up? That's what you need to do. Don't hold anything in. This week, in order for your emotions to feel heard, you need to express, you need to let it out quickly. Don't ponder, don't think, don't hold it in, don't hold anything back. It's about release, it's about it's about putting it out there and seeing where it gets you. Okay, I know yeah, that could get you into trouble, but it's what's needed this week. It's definitely what's needed this week. And then fire signs, for our last one here, we have your desires. Okay, and what we're asking here, what we're wanting to know here is, what do your desires need to feel seen or acknowledged? Oh, I love that. So we've got the dreaded death card. Okay, so fire signs, I know we don't like the death card. Nobody likes the death card, but I love the death card. Like the Hanged Man, you know, they're a little bit difficult, they're a little bit challenging, but actually, when you understand them, when you comprehend them, and when you welcome them into your space, you actually can see how fabulous they are. The death card is saying to you, change, transformation. It's about letting go of the past, and it's about allowing yourself to move forward. So, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, the death card is saying to you that your desires want to change. You know, you've got to understand, when I look at the mind and the desires here, when I look at these two, there's clearly a kind of message here of the person you were a month ago, a week ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, and who you are now are completely different. You need to recognize the transformation that has taken place in your mind and that is coming through in your desires now. Okay, you've got to recognize the transformation and the changes that are happening, and you've got to allow. All right, Your desires, if you used to like chocolate ice cream, maybe this week you don't. Maybe this week you're suddenly going to realize, actually, I don't fancy chocolate ice cream so much. I'm actually more of a strawberry person, strawberry ice cream, whatever it is. Okay, I'm using ice cream as an example, but the death card is basically saying to you with regards to your desires, what do your desires need in order to feel seen, is that you've got to acknowledge that they are different. You have to acknowledge that the things that you were after, the goals that you had set for yourself before, are no longer relevant and no longer valid. And this is where your mind comes into it, because your mind here, what does your mind need in order to stay centered, is about looking at things from a different perspective, because you are not the same person you used to be. And this week it's going to be quite clear. The other thing that I have to speak of here is we have got 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards out of the 4 that we have dealt. And that again says to you, for all my fire signs, that this is going to be a big week for you. This is going to be a big week for you. All right. I know I originally said that I was going to keep these 2 for the extended portion of the reading, but Spirit is saying to me I have to turn the whole top row over, and this card sort of fits into the top row, so I have to return, and then these 5 will be kept for the extended. So let's turn this one over if I can pick it up and see what it says. I'm actually going to closer. It says, learn to keep your heart open and soft through the trials of life. You see, now I understand exactly why Spirit said, turn it over, because it fits in with what we've been saying, okay? It absolutely fits in. It says, learn to keep your heart open and soft through the trials of life. So, fire signs, please know that this week could be a little bit challenging for you. Please just know that this week, focus on what we've covered here, and I'm going to say to you, possibly even come back and remind yourself of this each day, or write it into your journal, write it into your diary, do something as a reminder, because come Wednesday, Thursday, you've already forgotten about watching this video on the Monday, and you may be facing a particular challenge, and your answers are here. Okay, mind, body, emotions, desires, and overall. All right, I'm now going to move on to the extended portion of this reading, and I'm so excited for it, because I think we're going to get a lot more information with regards to our mind, our body, our emotions, desires, and our archetype. So this is the wild unknown archetype, which is going to sort of, I think it's going to tie all of this together and give you a really strong explanation as to what you're dealing with for the week ahead. So fire signs, have an awesome week. We're going to move on to the extended now. Hello and welcome. Welcome to all my earth signs. Welcome to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading with me, Intuitive Rene. And yes, this week we're doing things a little bit differently again. I am working with a new layout or a new spread, and I do hope that it's going to give you good insight for the week ahead. And as I do with each Monday's reading, there is going to be the public portion, and then there is going to be the extended reading, which is available for everybody on my motivated tier of my YouTube channel membership. This week I am working with the Wild Unknown Tarot. That is this particular deck here. And over here we have the Wild Unknown Archetype deck. So we're going to be working with those cards. And over here I have the Daily Healing Oracle card for you as well. So for the public portion of this reading, I'm going to be working with these 5 cards at the top here. And when I do the extended reading, we'll be working with these 5 cards across the bottom. All right, so Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, are you ready? Are you ready to see what your week ahead has in store for you? So we are working with 4 different aspects of your life this week. We are working with your mind. So these 2 cards are going to be with regards to your mind, your body, your emotions, and your desires. And then we've got the general over here. So let's get straight into it, and let's see, what does Spirit need you to know for the week ahead? So Earth signs, the first one we're looking at is, what does your mind need in order to stay centered this week? So let's turn the card over. What does your mind need in order to stay centered this week? And the first card we have here is the Ace of Swords. The first thing that I notice, of course, is this huge big sword, but then I do notice this snake skin in beautiful rainbow colors in the infinity symbol going through or going around the sword. Ace of Swords is about new ideas. It's about recognizing the thoughts. It's about recognizing the inspirations, recognizing the stuff that's going on in your head, but it's the new stuff that's going on in your head, okay? So it's brand new. And the fact that this has got to do with your mind, what does your mind need to stay centered this week? This is Spirit saying to you that you need to start paying attention and acknowledging the thoughts, the inspirations, and the guidance that you have in your head. Not things that you hear externally or that you pick up externally, but the new thoughts. Because you know what? It's obviously got to do with, I'm going to call it self-confidence, because that's what I'm hearing from Spirit. So, you know, your self-confidence may be low. And if you do have a new thought, if you do have an idea, you may think, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I'm not strong enough. I don't have this. I'm not, you know, you will come up with 1,000 excuses. And this is Spirit's way of saying to you, this week in particular, for all earth signs, for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, pay attention to any new ideas, pay attention to any new inspirations that you may pick up on this week, because they are relevant, they are important, and they can bring you happiness, they can bring you success if you acknowledge, pay attention, and act on them this week. I love that. I think that's absolutely awesome. We're going to go on to our next one, and the next one has got to do with your physical being, your body. And what we're asking here is, what does your body need in order to stay grounded this week? So what does your physical being need in order to stay grounded this week? And we have got the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands in traditional tarot is the card of celebration. It's the card of marriage. It's the card of commitment. It's the card of acknowledging the coming together, okay? And it's also a card of stability and structure. And that's why we have all these kind of strong, solid squares or diamond shapes, if I can put them that way. And it does look like it's a bit of an eye. And the deeper we go, the more we go into the middle, the clearer, the more beautiful, the more vibrant the colors seem to be getting as well. So what does your body need in order for you to stay grounded? Well, it's telling you you need to connect to Mother Earth. You need to connect with Mother Gaia. So I would even say to you, shoes off, barefoot, on the ground, and just soak in the earth. Just soak in the connection that we have to Mother Earth, because that's what you need. You need stable strength. You need to stay committed. You need to stay committed to you. You need to recognize that you are giving energy to all things all the time, and you're not replenishing enough. You're not putting back in. Your commitment to yourself is not enough. So I am interpreting this. The Four of Wands is saying to you, get your shoes off, go outside, stand on the ground, and just allow yourself to soak in that energy from that is all around you. Bring it into the core of your being and know that all is going to be well in your world. I love that, actually. Okay, so let's move on to our third one. And our third one has got to do with your emotions, your emotional side, your emotional self. And the question we're asking there is, what do your emotions need from you this week in order to feel heard? So emotionally, what do you need in order to feel heard this week? And we have the Five of Cups. Okay. Oh, Shane, can you see our horsey is looking a little bit sad. He's looking a little bit forlorn. The fact that his head is down, the fact that he's not looking up, the fact that he is being, he's more focused on the darkness down the bottom as opposed to the lightness across the top. So the Five of Cups is the card of disappointment. It's the card of heartbreak. It's the card of, just feeling like things never seem to work out for you. Okay. So it is emotionally a little bit down. So what do your emotions need in order to feel heard? Well, I think you need to acknowledge that. I think you need to acknowledge how you're feeling. I think you need to be very honest with yourself that, you know what, life has been tough, life has been hard, life doesn't always work out the way we want it to. Life doesn't always go according to plan, does it? But you need to lift yourself up, you need to pick yourself up. And I do think spending a bit of time outdoors, spending a bit of time connecting with Mother Gaia, connecting with the earth and soaking up earth energy, paying attention to these ideas that you have, all of these things will help to elevate your mood, will help to elevate your spirits, will help you to look at things a little bit better, okay? Because that's clearly what is needed for you this week for all my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Your emotions are feeling a little bit unheard, okay? So maybe you've been keeping a lot in. Maybe you've been keeping a lot of your feelings to yourself. And again, this is saying to you, you know what, let's be honest, let's face it, let's look at it, let's be completely honest with what we're feeling, what we're going through, and what's happening in our lives, so that we can overcome this down feeling that we have. All right, I think that's quite interesting. Let's go on to your desires. Your desires, and this is, what do your desires need in order to feel seen? So the desires that you have deep within your soul, what are they? What are that? How do we bring them to the front? How do we acknowledge them? How do we work with them? How do we let them happen? Oh, we've got the gorgeous Wheel of Fortune. Oh, wow. I love that. So there's a couple of things going on with this Wheel of Fortune card. First of all, we have these branches that have been sort of tied together with multicolored ribbon, and it's an entire rainbow of ribbon. We go from red all the way to purple on the edge. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So we've got the whole rainbow of colors happening there. We've got this beautiful owl sitting up there, which is wisdom, which is knowledge, which is we've got the sun, we've got the moon. So we've got as above, so below. So it doesn't matter where we are on that wheel. We have to recognize the power that's there. When I look at all of this, okay, so earth signs, this is getting very interesting. When I look at all four of these, mind, body, emotions, and desires, what is quite clear here is that you don't have enough faith and belief in yourself. Okay, that is the one thing that's coming through quite clearly here. I'm loving how I'm noticing, let me not say loving, I'm noticing how all the things that are relevant to you are hidden behind other things. Look at how we have this kind of mesh chaos, chaos, and how you're looking down at the dark, and how you actually, it's almost like the snake could be keeping you afraid and keeping you fearful of actually working with the ideas, working with the inspiration. So there's definitely I'm going to call it an undercurrent energy that's coming through here. And what I want to say to you with your desires, you need to recognize how big your desires are, how detailed your desires are, how complex your desires are. You need to acknowledge them. You need to recognize that you are not a simple person. Nobody wants you to be a simple person, but there are all these new ideas that you need to pay attention to. There are all these new ideas that are going to help you make heads or tails out of these desires that you have. But right now, you're just seeing the mess. Right now, you're seeing the chaos. That's all you're seeing, which is feeling a little bit overwhelming. It's feeling a little bit too much. It's feeling like, I don't know how to do it. Okay. And you don't even know where to begin. You know you want to. You know you want to. You know you want to branch out and explore, but you're so afraid of removing one of these sticks and opening the pathway because you're so afraid of the consequences. So physically, we're nervous. Physically, we're afraid. Mentally, we have these ideas that we're ignoring, that we're not paying attention to. Physically, we're nervous and afraid to take a chance. Emotionally, it's just a little bit too much. So from our desires point of view, we're just not really doing the things that we need to be. We're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all the chaos, but actually that chaos is, to me it looks like chaos, but to you it may look like there's something positive there, because it's your desires, and your desires are big, they are complex, and they are amazing. I love that. Okay, so earth signs, it looks like this week you have to be honest with yourself. It looks like this week you have to recognize this. I'm going to put that this is your focus card for the week ahead, okay? And you need to be paying attention to this complex. You need to pay attention to the desires that you have. And actually, I'm going to say to you, even sit and make sense of it, sit and write it down, plan it out, strategize it, do whatever you need to do. See the big picture. Don't focus on one stick at a time. Don't focus on one piece of ribbon at a time. You need to be looking at the big picture. Let's have a look and see what your oracle card wants to say. So this is from the Daily Healing Oracle, and let's see what its message for you is. If I can get it into focus. Right, it says, in the moment, if you can, remove your judgment and criticism and truly listen to someone. You will empower them. I love that. So in the moment, if you can, remove your judgment and your criticism and truly listen to someone. You will empower them. All right, I love that. I'm going to change that a little bit, because as much as I do think that's relevant, and as much as I do think that's completely appropriate, I want to change I want to change this word here to say, if you truly listen to someone. I want to say, if you truly listen to yourself, you will empower yourself. That's what I want to change this to. So I don't want you focusing on other people. I want you focusing on you this week, because this is your week. That's what we're looking at here, okay? This is your week to shine. This is your week to achieve success. This is your week to finally actually start making sense of your desires and what you truly want with yourself, and acting on it in the way that you need to. Awesome. Right, so earth signs, I'm now going to move on to the extended portion of this reading, where we're going to look at these 5 cards to get additional information about our mind, body, emotions, and desires. And then we're also going to have a look at the archetypal energy that you have happening around you this week as well. So do please consider, if you want more information, please do consider joining the YouTube channel membership on the motivated tier in order to access the extended reading. But sending each one of you so much love and so many blessings. Take care. Hello and welcome to my air signs. Welcome to Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Welcome to your week ahead reading with me, Intuitive Rene. This week I am working with the Wild Unknown Tarot. That's this deck over here. This is the Wild Unknown Archetype deck. And over here we have the Daily Healing Oracle card as well. So as I do each Monday, I do a public reading and I do an extended reading, which is available for everybody on my YouTube channel membership. So for you on the public viewing, we're going to do the first row. Okay, we're going to get those 5 cards, and the extended reading is going to get these 5 cards as well over and above. And this week I've got a new spread that I want to be working with, a new spread that I'm focusing on, and I do hope that it's going to give you good guidance for the week ahead, because that's what it's all about. So air signs, what we're looking at is we're looking at your mind, we're going to look at your body, your emotions, and your desires, and then general information over here. So let's get straight into it and see what is it that Spirit needs you to know this week in order for you to have a successful and awesome week ahead. So we're starting off with your mind, and the question we're asking here is, what does the mind need in order to stay centered this week? So what does your mind need in order to stay centered this week? And we have got the Son of Wands. The Son of Wands in traditional tarot, I think, is the Knight of Wands. So we have the snake that's coming through, okay? And I'm not a big snake person, and there's quite a few snakes in this deck. But anyway, we have the snake that's coming through here. But what I like about what I see about the snake and the way that I interpret him is he's strong, he's brave, he's courageous, but he's also quick thinking. He's quick to react, he's quick to respond, he's quick to release his venom, to defend himself, to protect himself, as well as to attack. And what does your mind need in order to stay centered this week? Because you've got to recognize the power of your tongue. You've got to recognize the power of your spoken word. And this is what you need to recognize, because each one of you, you're all deep thinkers. And being air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, there's a lot of things that are going on in your mind at any one time, okay? And it's how you respond to that. It's how you react to that. It's how you work with that. That's going to determine whether you have a good or a bad week this week. So be cautious of your word. What does your mind need to stay centered this week? You've got to watch your tongue. You've got to watch the venom that you spit out, the venom that you speak. You've got to be very aware of the words. So almost I'm going to say to you with this card, it's telling you to think twice. Don't be so quick to speak. Don't be so quick to release the things that are going on in your head. Think about it, ponder it before you speak out and before you release. I think that's very, very interesting. Let's move on to your body. So what does your body need to stay grounded this week? So when we talk about your body, we're talking about your physical being, okay? So what does your physical being need in order to stay grounded this week? And here we have the 9 of Wands. So we've got 2 wand cards coming through. Wands is about the things that we do. It's about our actions. It's about our passions and our behaviors. And the 9 of Wands, very interestingly, it's the card of exhaustion. It's the card of feeling like I just can't, okay? It's the card of feeling like you just don't have the energy to climb the stairs. You just don't have the energy to get to the destination that you've been working so long and hard for. You can see how everything goes from pitch black to at the bottom here, and it lightens as we go up to the top. So your body, what does your body need in order for you to stay grounded? It needs you to keep going. It needs you to persist. It needs you to persevere. It needs you to not give up too quickly or too soon, because that's often what comes up with the 9 of Wands. It's the card of like, I can't do this anymore, and I'm packing it in. I'm giving up. And if you give up now, you are going to be, you are so close. You've only got 9 steps left. And if you give up now, you've come so far. It means that everything that you've worked on, especially with regards to your physical being, has been for nothing. So even though you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere, even though you feel like you're not achieving anything, even though you feel like it's just all a little bit too much, this is Spirit's way of saying, with regards to your physical body and helping it to stay grounded and helping it to stay focused, you need to pursue and push, even though you feel like you don't want to, even though you feel like you can't, even though you feel like you just want to give it up. This is Spirit's way of saying, no, keep pushing, keep going through. You will achieve greatness. Okay, with your physical being, Over here we have our emotional card, okay? And the question we're asking here is what do your emotions need in order to feel heard? So emotionally, what do you need in order to feel heard? Oh, and we have got the glorious judgment card. Oh, very interesting. So first thing that I notice is this beautiful white dove at the top. And I know we all often immediately look at the negative, we look at the dark, we've got all these birds and all these bats and all these kind of creatures coming out of the forest. But then we have this beautiful white dove at the top, and just look at how it's radiating light, it's radiating truth, it's radiating judgment onto everybody. But what I like is that people aren't hiding. I say people, but I'm referring to the birds. We're not hiding, they're not like sort of staying in the bushes, they're sort of coming forward, they're stepping into the light and saying, yes, help me, help me, help me. Help me to see the light. Help me to be better. Help me to improve. Help me to be a better bird. And the judgment card for your emotions. So the question we had here is, what do your emotions need in order to feel heard? And I think it's about expressing your emotions. I think the judgment card is saying, be honest. I'm going to leave it at that. Be honest. And it's not about being honest with the people around you. It's about being honest with yourself. So again, it's human nature that we're afraid of failure. We're afraid of rejection. I think that's the big thing, especially with judgment. We're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of what other people's opinions are. We're afraid of what other people think of us. So emotionally for you this week, for my air signs, and I love how we have the bird up in the air. We're climbing up to the air. The snake is ascending up into the air. I love that, the theme that's coming through for you. But with this judgment card is you're so afraid of being open and vulnerable with regards to your emotions, because you're so afraid of how people are going to judge you, the people that you love, the people that are nearest and dearest to you. You're so afraid of how they're going to see you, perceive you, and how they're going to judge you. So you'd rather just keep quiet. You'd rather not. And this is Spirit's way of saying that in order for your emotions to feel heard, in order for your emotions to be validated this week, you do have to leave the shelter of your trees, and you do need to step into the light. You do need to step forward, and you do need to show yourself. You do need to participate, and you do need to be active and not be concerned about other people's judgments, not be concerned about what other people may think or say about you. You need to be honest, you need to be true, and you need to be strong. I like that. Awesome. Yes, signs, let's have a look and see what your desires. What do your desires need in order to feel seen? So how do we react or work with, if I can even pick up a card? Oh my gosh, can this be so hard? Ah, do it that way, sorry. I see why I couldn't pick it up, because it's a yucky one. All right. What we have here is the Eight of Cups. So Eight of Cups is not typically a yucky card, but what it is, it's saying that look at all these 8 broken glasses, broken cups. How are you going to enjoy a glass of wine in broken cups? Okay, you can't. And the Eight of Cups is basically the card of saying, I recognize that everything is a little bit yucky in my life. I recognize that everything is a little bit broken, a little bit discarded, a little bit hard, a little bit ugly, okay? And saying, well, I choose not to accept this. I choose not to accept this, and I choose to venture further up the mountain to see if there aren't better cups, better glasses, better wine, okay? So the Eight of Cups is the card of turning your back on something and moving away from the difficulties, the challenges, the hurt, the pain, and all of those kind of things. So how do we relate this to the question? The question is, what do your desires need in order to feel seen? Well, you are clearly avoiding your desires. You are clearly seeing them in a negative light. You are clearly holding on to broken pieces of glass and trying to drink from it. And that's actually not what your desires are. That may be somebody else's desire. Somebody else may be the wine drinker. You may be a beer drinker. And I know we shouldn't be talking alcohol so early on a Monday morning, but forgive me. It's the wine glasses. So your desires, you're doing, holding, and trying to follow through with desires that actually are not yours, or somebody else's. You need to leave that behind, and you need to allow yourself to move on. You need to allow yourself to progress. You need to allow yourself to advance, okay? Don't feel obligated to keep drinking out of a broken wine glass if that's not your desires. So what do your desires need in order to feel seen? You need to acknowledge that they're not fabulous. You need to acknowledge that they are not yours. You need to acknowledge that they do not fulfill you, and you need to walk away. I love that. Right, so this is really quite awesome. So air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, we have got quite a big week ahead for you. This is quite a toughie. I have to be honest and say that there's a lot of work to be done here, but I think it's doable. I really do think it's doable. I want to have a look here at your daily healing oracle, and let's just have a look and see what its message for you is for this week as well. It says, enjoy the process instead of always looking for the results. Oh, I like that. Oh, I really do truly like that. Enjoy the process instead of always looking for the result. So I think what that's really saying to you, especially like even in this particular card here, you know, we're wanting to have an entire glass of wine, but maybe what we need to be doing is just sip, sip, sip and enjoying the company. So let's walk away. Let's walk away from that and let's enjoy the journey. Even here with the judgment, it's not about that final judgment. It's not about that final emotion or the final thing that people are going to think or say about you. It's actually just about being more expressive and being more open and not giving up too quickly and too soon. I think that's a really important and valid message. All right, I am now going to move on to the extended portion of this reading where we're going to get more information on each one of these cards with regards to your mind, your body, your emotions, and your desires, and to see what archetype you are working with for the week ahead. So if you would like to see the extended portion of this reading, please do consider joining the YouTube channel membership on the motivated tier. All that information is in the description box below. Click the join button and you will see it all there. But otherwise, have an awesome week. With love and blessings. Take care. Hello and welcome to my water signs. Welcome Pisces, Cancerians, and Scorpios. Welcome to your week ahead reading with me, Intuitive Rene. So if you watched the intro, you will know what cards I'm using, but just in case you didn't, I am working with the Wild Unknown Tarot. This is the tarot deck over here. This is the Wild Unknown Archetypes, and this is Daily Healing Oracle cards. And yeah, this reading is broken up into two parts. We have a public portion, and we have the extended portion, which is available to everybody on my YouTube channel on the motivated tier. So you're going to get the top row of cards in the public viewing, and the bottom row of cards are going to be reserved for those on the extended channel membership or the extended readings. And I'm sort of trying out a new spread again this week, and I love trying different things and shaking things up a little bit. So for the week ahead, we're going to be looking at 4 different areas of your life, okay? We're going to be looking at your mind, your body, your emotions, and your desires, and to see what it is that you need to be mindful of, what do you need to be aware of for the week ahead in respect to these 4 areas. And then we've got the archetypes card here, which is going to give us a lot more information, and we have an oracle card as well. So let's get straight into it. Water signs, we're going to start off on this end, and like I say, for the public viewing of this reading, you're going to get the first row. The bottom row is going to be reserved for the extended portion. So the first one we have, the first card that we're looking at, is what does your mind need to stay centered in the week ahead? So what is important for your mind to stay centered in the week ahead? And what we have there is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is a very interesting one because it's about recognizing what it is you want to do, what it is you have to do. It's also about recognizing that, you know, everything is set up and ready. It's just about waiting for the right moment and the right time. I love when I look at this particular card is how the three wands have been tied together. So they are committed, okay? They're sort of stuck to each other. They're connected and attached to each other. And the outside world and the inner world are quite different. And it's almost like we're waiting for the inner world to be perfect, to be completely right at that moment, and then we're going to jump through, and then we're going to experience whatever it is we need to. But it is about waiting for that right moment, for that right opportunity, before you respond and before you react. So what we're saying to you here is, for my water signs, Pisces, Cancerians, and Scorpios, for the week ahead, you've got to recognize that you know what you want to do. You know how you want to do it. You even possibly know when you have to do it or when you want to do it. And all you're doing is you're just waiting for that perfect moment. You're waiting for that right time before you initiate, jump into, and start. So what does your mind need to stay centered this week? It needs you to be confident. It needs you to be self-assured. It needs you to be very much aware of yourself. So don't let your mind bring in doubt. Don't let your mind start stressing, worrying, bringing about anxieties or anything like that. You've got to keep your mind sharp. You know, everything is ready. Everything is tied together. Everything is connected in the way that it needs to. You're just waiting for that perfect moment. And as soon as you see that perfect moment, just know that your mind, that it's the right time to initiate, to act on, to respond to, and to work with whatever's going on in your mind. So there's no more thinking, planning, and strategizing. Okay. So what does your mind need for the week ahead to stay centered? You need to be confident in the plans and strategies that you have already worked out. Now we're going to go into your body, your physical being. What does your body, your physical being need in order to stay grounded this week? Oh, we have got the Hierophant. Okay. So the Hierophant is a card of leadership. The Hierophant is the card of simple understanding. The Hierophant, as much as I say simple understanding, it's also the deep knowledge. Okay. It's about understanding that we have the key to everything, that we have the key to knowledge, the key to understanding. But the Hierophant is also the card of I like to say simplicity, because his solutions and his answers to life are never complicated. It's never over the top. It's always quite simple. But it's the card of learning. It's the card of understanding. Okay. So water signs, what you need to understand for your body to stay grounded this week, you need to not overcomplicate things. You need to keep it simple. All right. Whatever it is that you're doing to your physical being, however, whether it is diet, whether it is exercise, whether it is just your day-to-day hygiene, it doesn't matter what aspect of your physical being. This is Spirit's way of saying to you, for the week ahead, just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. So if you have started an exercise program, don't push yourself too hard. All right. Don't think that you need to achieve lots in a week, this week. Just be steady, be consistent. I think maybe that's the word that we need to use, is to be consistent. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overdo. Don't think that you need to do more, because more is not always good. More is not always what is needed. Sometimes simple is all that is needed. And this is exactly what the Hierophant is saying to you with regards to your body. How do you help your body, your physical being, to stay grounded? By keeping it simple. Don't overcomplicate things and don't do too much. All right, let's get into your emotions. So what we're asking here is, what do your emotions need in order to feel heard this week? What do your emotions need in order to feel heard this week? And here we have the Nine of Wands. So we've got Wands and we've got Wands again. And the Nine of Wands, it almost looks like we've got this stairway, isn't it? It almost looks like there's these stairs climbing up and taking us through to the moon. I love how the sky sort of clears and parts. But it's recognizing that, you know what, even if we got to the top, even if we climbed each one of these stairs and we got to the top, we're still not quite where we want to be. So it's about feeling like, I don't know if I have the energy within me to actually carry it through. I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm capable. I don't know if I can. Those are the kind of feelings we get. That's what that Nine of Wands is saying to you. But what I love about the Nine of Wands is, yes, it is a card of feeling overwhelmed, feeling exhausted, feeling like you just can't. But it always says to you that when you do get to the top, when you do climb and you're at that top, you are so close to the destination, so close to achieving the happiness, joy, and success that you want for yourself. Giving up now would be premature. Giving up now would be giving up too early, too soon. So what do your emotions need in order for you to feel heard? Well, you need to just, whatever it is you're struggling with this week, whatever it is that you're feeling this week, whatever it is that you're going through this week, just know that you have to push. You have to push. You have to push through when you feel like you're ready to give up, when you feel like you're ready to just go back down and stay at the bottom, when you feel like you're ready to stop, that's when you have to think about it. Hold a second. I've done all the work. I've prepared everything. Let's not overcomplicate. Let's keep things simple and let's just push through. Push through. That's what that card is saying to you. So water signs, what do your emotions need in order to feel heard this week? They need you to not give up. They need you to keep pushing through. And if you find yourself repeating, an emotion to your loved ones over and over and over again, don't think, well, they're not listening to me, I'm going to stop. Because as soon as you stop, that is when they would hear you. That is when it would have achieved something. So don't give up. Push through it. If you feel like you have to say something 20 times, do it. Don't give up. Your emotions want to feel heard this week, and you are not allowed to give up too quickly. And I know, Pisces, Cancerians, and Scorpios. I know we don't like to hop, and we don't like to push, and we don't like to prod, but we need to this week, especially with regards to our emotions. All right. Our last one we have here is our desires. Okay, so what do your desires need in order to feel seen? So what are the things that you desire, and what do they need in order to feel seen? And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. How gorgeous is it? So it's a tree, and we're seeing all its lines. We're seeing that core, that beautiful, strong, solid core. Ace of Pentacles is about new creative endeavors. It's about recognizing new opportunities. You know, every tree starts as that tiny little core center, and then every year it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. So it keeps amounting, it keeps growing, it keeps achieving, it keeps getting stronger, bigger and better. But everything starts as a seed, everything starts at that point, and then everything sort of grows out from there. And that's your desires. Your desires are starting as a seed. It's starting as a tiny little point right in that center, and then it's growing from there. And this is what you need to recognize. So don't be impatient with yourself this week. And looking at all of these cards, I really do think that's the message. Don't be impatient with yourself. Don't put extra pressure on yourself. Don't feel like you have to, need to, must do anything more than what you are already doing. It's about recognizing patience. It's about not giving up too quickly. I am going to say, looking at these 4 cards for my water signs, Pisces, Cancerians, and Scorpios, I do think it's going to be a fairly difficult week ahead. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to put happiness and roses where there aren't happiness and roses. It is going to be a difficult week, but with persistence, with keeping things simple, and recognizing that, you know, sometimes everything starts as a seed, and it germinates and goes from there. And when the time is right, if you focus on all of that, you will achieve great things. You will achieve everything that you need to this week. Let's have a look and see what your oracle, this is now from the Daily Healing Oracle. Its message is soften and open back into love all day long. Soften and open back into love all day long. I love that. And I think that really does confirm and just reiterate everything that we have already covered, because that's what these are saying to you. Soften, open back into love. Love is that seed, that initial spark, that initial whatever that we have. That is what matters. And all day long, I'm going to change all day long for you to read all week long. All week long. Just persist, focus, and know that you're going to achieve well. Right, so water signs, I'm now going to move on to the extended portion of this reading, where we're going to get more information on each one of these, as well as the archetypes card. Please do consider joining the club, because I would love to share all of this with all of you. But otherwise, have an awesome week. Take care.